What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of this wonderful podcast, The Casey and I Do Together. It's the
I
Two
really thought
Worlds
you were gonna say
podcast.
Two Worlds. I was ready for it.
You were ready for it. But anyway, my name is Jake, and with me, as always, is the Winnie the Pooh to my Christopher Robin. It's Casey. What's up, man?
Oh, bother. How did you know that I'm not wearing pants and just wearing my shirt?
I didn't, but now we all do. And we've come closer together.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I always. Yeah, I mean, that's how you always do the podcast. You just do them pantless because you're only seeing this much.
Right?
You're Winnie the Pooh in it too, right?
Sure. If that makes you feel more comfortable.
I hope everyone listening is too.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway,
if you are, comment down below hashtag Winnie the Pooh in it.
Or don't. That's fine too. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, just whatever. It's a free country.
Yeah.
What news you got? Because you got more than me, man.
Yeah.
You kind of scooped me a little bit on one of them.
So some of these, I mean, they were a stretch. I'll say that.
Yeah. These news weeks, they've been kind of a good thing of yoga for us because we were stretching a lot for them.
I know. It's either 10 minutes or 45, and there's like no in between. But anyway.
In all fairness, we are too windy to only have 10 minutes.
That is also true.
It's either 45 or 2 hours.
But hey, you know what you're getting with us,
Yeah.
So anyway, the Obi-Wan teaser trailer dropped. Did you watch it?
I didn't. I need to because I'm actually interested in that one.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely teasery, but it was cool.
Yeah,
it was cool. I like how it looks.
Nice.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing it because Ewan McGregor he seems like such a delightful person from everything you see. So I'm just like, he deserves this type of stuff, the big old payday that he's hopefully getting, and he seems like he enjoys it. So that adds to it. It's not like who's the other actor that played Obi-Wan that just hated it?
Sir Alec Guinness.
Yes. It's not like it's him doing it where he would be just miserable the whole time.
Right. I'm curious if they'll if at the end of the series we'll see Alec Guinness or their fancy CGI Alec Guinness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It'd be really funny if it's just like Ewan McGregor and he's just, he went to the shops in Tatooine and he comes back with white just for men, but it's just for Jedis. He's just putting it in his beard and stuff to make himself look older.
Yeah, because really that's quite a lot of aging in a short amount of time.
Well, okay, so I saw one time where it's his age now isn't that far. I don't know the exact numbers, but they're it's actually not that far off from what he was. It's just Ewan McGregor is like fine wine.
Yeah, that is for sure.
So it's just kind of yeah, you can't make him look old unless you do just make him dye his hair.
Right. Well, you have to let me know what you think of it whenever you see it. And then just the other really small thing I had was that the Penguin spinoff gets a straight to series order for HBO.
You excited since you've seen the Batman? I still haven't, which I'll have a fun story to tell about why we haven't seen it yet.
I am, dude. He was really, really good. So I think
I knew he would be. It's just it's just shocking to me that he is Penguin still. I mean, I like him as an actor, but he is I would have expected him to have been Alfred before Penguin,
Right. Well, I mean, they do so much makeup or CGI. I don't know which on him, but But yeah, whatever they do, even if it's just like a handful of episodes of him being a gangster, it's gonna be cool.
Isn't it supposed to be like a kind of like a rise to power type of thing for him?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So this is like one of my little bits of news, but Sean Levy is set to direct Deadpool 3. He recently directed Free Guy, which was actually a pretty fun movie. So I watched that on HBO Max the other day. It's a good time if I'd recommend it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of that he's going to bring over. I'm to the point now where I'm like, you have to be like a really bad director to mess up a good script. So if the Deadpool 3 has a good script, it's going to be fine. Like, I think a really good director can elevate a bad script, but it's also like, if the script's really good, you have to be a really bad director to bring that one down. So,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be just fine.
Yeah. I mean, the first two were, so no reason for this one not to be. Did you see both of those?
I haven't. I think I saw parts of 2 on TV and parts of 1 on TV, but I've never seen all the way through. It's one of those things where like, yeah, it's just whenever I hear most of the people that talk about it online, like, oh yeah, he says the F word a bunch. It's so funny. It's like, oh, okay. So I know that word. I've said it quite a few times.
Yeah, but that's
reinventing the wheel with that.
That's not really like the whole movie though.
Yeah.
That's just annoying Deadpool fans, which there are many.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right. So some movie news. Looks like DC or Warner Brothers, I guess, are shuffling around some movie dates, Casey. The Flash movie has been moved from November of 2022, to June of 2023. Aquaman 2 has been moved from December of this year to March of next year. And then Shazam has been moved up from June of 2023 to December of this year. Not really sure why. I didn't see a great reason. But it sucks, but at least Shazam's getting moved up so that we get another DC movie this year.
Yeah, I mean, this is me spitballing. I bet it has something to do with the merger, but then also I have a quote from James Wan on this because this is the one you scooped from me. But he's like, for a movie that is nearly all visual effects, I'm thankful for the extra time to craft this thing right. Working with groundbreaking new technology, I'm blown away of some of the early tests coming in. I'm cautiously optimistic and excited and can't wait to share when the time is ready. So, I mean, they're probably with this and Flash, if it's not anything merger related, which like that's kind of a solid guess is something like is happening with the merger. They're wanting, the new higher ups are like, oh, let's push this back and decide stuff later. If it's not that, then it's just them going like, these are like Flash and whatnot and Aquaman are both very heavy in special effects. They probably are like, let's tighten this up a little bit. People are waiting anyway. We need, might as well have it, on point versus rush something out, which is like probably what Warner Brothers was trying to do anyway, was to rush stuff out. And this way, maybe it was like, mix of like Discovery being like, you can make this look better and whatnot, right, versus, that's probably what's happened, but I don't really know. I'm not on the inside.
I mean, I don't want to wait, but it's fine because we've waited this long already. So it's like, what's another 6 months at this point?
Yeah, right. And we're old now, so like time does go by quicker. Like if we were like in high school, we'd be like, oh, this is so terrible. But now we're like, oh yeah. And then we like look at like, oh shoot, that comes out tomorrow.
I know, dude. It's crazy. All right. So I'll do another one. We're getting a Samurai Sonia comic book from IDW that will be written by Jordan Clark and Pasquale Quilano. It's a spin-off from one of the characters in the Sonia Versal series. And they say that this will combine Japanese history with Japanese mythology. I like Red Sonja. I like Japanese history and mythology. I think this could be tons of fun.
You checking it out first issue then?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I
Right
saw
on,
some
man.
of the covers, and I know the interiors will look different, but the covers were just so dang cool. It's like, how can I not check this out?
Yeah. Old Peach Momoko's kind of got to do a variant cover at least, right?
I would hope so. It's probably going to be like a one
You
in
have like
500, but
yeah, and you're like, that's when I walk in. I'm like, Jake, why do you have 500 of these? You're like, no reason. I just thought they were gonna sell well. I swear.
yeah, that's the thing
So
is
yeah, my
like
last
a
minute.
few people like get Red Sonja, but not enough as I would like. And I realize that
Yeah,
I'm part of the problem too, but I almost always will find one cover that I like and will buy because every issue of Red Sonja has like 5+ covers, and chances are one of them is really cool. So at least I contribute a little bit.
yeah. I'm surprised you're not reading it like and talking about it on here a bunch because it's like it's right up your alley. It's redheads and like mythology stuff. Like so it's like that's two of your favorite things.
So like I've tried it a couple different times. One time it just wasn't very good. And another time they're like, we're bringing Red Sonja to modern times. And
Oh, that's
as I've said, I don't like fantasy mixing with like modern day stuff. I just want fantasy. So
like I think there's times where that can work really well, but I mean, like, I think it's cool with Savage Avengers when Conan's doing it because he's actually interacting with other superheroes. But with Red Sonja, she's not interacting with any other superheroes. It's just like, yeah, here I am fighting a cop, the famous dark horse hero cop.
I know. And it's so 90s because like by the end of the issue, she's got like a black leather jacket, black leather pants, and she's on a motorcycle. It's like, dude, this is
Okay, dude,
not
I'm
what
hooked
I
now.
want. Yeah,
That's the
I
90s
know. I
aesthetic
know.
I want.
I know it is.
You had me at leather jacket, but HBO Max and Discovery Plus are going to actually combined into one new platform. So maybe it's going to be HBO Max Plus or Discovery Max. I mean, I'm just spitballing names here, but I hope the price stays the same because that'd be pretty sweet. We'll be able to watch House Hunters and Close Enough.
Maybe it'll be HBO Discovery Max Plus.
There, I mean that's like not even trying. That's just both the names.
Well, anyway, I think that's fine because we have both of those services now. So the fact that they're going to be combining, I think, just makes things easier.
That makes sense that you guys do since you both like your like me and Bree like the Food Network shows, but you guys much more like them than us, so it makes sense that you guys would have that.
Yeah, so many cooking shows, so many. All right, and then my last bit is that we are getting a new Black Adam comic in June. It is not
Shazam.
called Shazam. They're calling it Black Adam.
I mean, but we both know his name's Shazam now.
Yeah, we do. But this will be written by the wonderful Christopher Priest and will be drawn by Rafa Sandoval. So very, very talented.
I'll have to check it out.
Creative team. Yeah. They don't say that it's a limited series, but I'm sure that it probably will be. But anyway, there we go.
As good as Deathstroke was, and as good as I'm assuming this is going to be, like I think Priest may end up getting himself, typecast into just anti-hero territory then.
Yeah.
Which, I'm fine with, but I don't know if he will because he doesn't seem to like being typecast as any type of character, writing any type of character.
That's true. But I don't know. I think he can get typecast into just being freaking awesome at everything he does.
Yeah. I agree, man.
All right. Well, that is the end of the news.
That's our news.
Yeah. So now we'll take our ad break and we'll come back and talk some comics. So we'll be right back. All right, Casey, let's hear the
Okay,
story, man.
So me and Bree were all set to go see the old Batman, and I was on my phone. I was like, okay, we'll go out and go get dinner, and then at there's I think it was an 8:30 show. So we had been talking about going to get Outback. We were both pretty excited because she got like this fish one time she got there, and I always get like a steak and either lobster or ribs. And when I got there, they had these like new, like it was like the twisted ribs, and so like it has like their twisted, their bloomin' onion sauce on them too. And I'm like, oh boy, those are gonna be good. So I got my steak. I ordered my steak medium, and I got mac and cheese and fries. And then Bree ordered the fish with mashed potatoes and seasonal veggies. And then we also ordered bloomin' shrimp, which is the bloomin' onion, batter, but shrimp instead. So our waiter comes and we wait a little bit, and then he brings our appetizer. We're eating that, just having a nice time. And then he keeps every once in a while will come back, give us refills, and he'll be like, it's almost there. I promise. And it's getting later and later. And he's like, he keeps like, it's coming up, blah, blah. And the people next to us who have been there longer than us, they get their steaks. They both got steaks. And then, first off, the people in front of us, like all of them got meals except for the husband. And he comes up to and she's like, I can get you your salad still. And he's like, I don't want it. I don't want it anymore. I just want my meal so we can leave. And so then like the manager ended up coming up to him and talking to him for a little bit. And then finally he gets his food, he eats it and leaves. And then after a couple more minutes, the couple next to us gets their steaks, and they like look at them, and we can overhear them, and they're going, these are not fillets. These are ribeyes. And the lady was like, yeah, and I didn't get my sides. And so then they tell their waitress, and their waitress is like, oh yeah, it's this new, like she has this like story about their new system that they have where it's like they print off the receipts, and if you get a salad, they print off the receipt in the salad, and then they don't print it off for the steak people. They're supposed to pass it off, but a lot of times they'll just throw it away. So they, just doesn't get made. And so then she goes, takes it back. Turns out that steak wasn't the people next to a steak. It was the people next to those people's steak. And they had been there. We were there at 7. And this is like about 8 o'clock now. They had been there since 6 o'clock.
Dude.
And so then these the like, because like we, by this point, us three and then the people behind us were all chit-chatting amongst ourselves because they were messing everybody's up. And they were like, the guy behind, like this other guy behind us was like, oh yeah, did they mess you up your order too? And they're like, yeah, they gave us their meal. And then he was like, yeah, I wanted my medium rare and I got mine very well done. And he's just like, I'm eating anyway because I don't think I'm gonna get it back if I don't. And so then like the other couple, like they had booze and stuff, and so then they were just like, yeah, we're leaving. And so they just got up and left, and they didn't pay. They just left. And so then they finally brought our food out, and at this point it's 8:40ish, but there was another showing at 9. So that was like, with the 8, we don't make it for the 8:30, we can do the 9 o'clock one. And so we get our food, and like I'm looking at it, and my ribs don't have the special sauce on it. And I didn't notice at the time. I didn't have mac and cheese either. And she didn't have her mashed potatoes. And normally the fish comes on a bed of rice, and did not have a bed of rice. So then I'm cutting my steak, and my medium steak is a very, very well steak. Like just like if you took a bite, you'd have to take a drink because it was so fucking dry. Well,
Oh, no.
and I'm like, and then I'm like, I kind of look over my ribs because I'm like, you can't fuck up ribs. So I touch them because she's complaining that her fish is room temp, and I touch my ribs. They are a nice room temperature rib. They have, they had to have been sitting out the whole time they cooked my steak too long. And so then she was like, we like she's like, I'm gonna talk to the waiter and you don't say a word. I'm gonna make sure we don't pay for any of this because this is not right. So the waiter comes back over and she's like, how is everything? And she's like, yeah. And she goes through and tells him everything that's wrong. And then she's like, we're not paying for any of this. We'll pay for the shrimp. That's it. And he's like, yes, ma'am. And he goes back, gets us our ticket, comes and like me and her talked about it because our waiter was fantastic. Like there was nothing like if we got the dumb girl that was like handing out the wrong meals, I wouldn't have given her as good of a tip. But like I still tipped them roughly 20% on what our meal would have been because and even before, like we were already discussing how much to tip him prior before he came back. And then he was like kind of complaining. He's like, I know. I'm like, we're not mad at you, man. Like you did great, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I know, but it's just like pisses me off because they're all on salary. They get paid no matter. This is messing with my money. And like we were talking about it. And we're like, I really wanted to just be like, hey man, don't worry, we got you. but we ended up not doing that. And then after we paid, we left. And then we're just like, we're gonna get Papa John's and we'll watch some streaming at her place because by this time it's like 9. I think it's like 9:05 at this point. So there's no way we're gonna get to see the movie. So we get Papa John's. I go get it. And these fuckers at Papa John's. This is like one of the like really disappointing parts. You know how because you make pizzas. You're a pizza. You used to be a pizza maniac.
Mm-hmm.
How would you put the toppings on the pizza? Just run it down for me so I can tell you how they did it.
Okay. Well, it's sauce and then sausage and then cheese, pepperoni, veggies.
Okay. So we had veggies and pepperoni. And then I mean she had veggies and pepperoni. I had pepperoni because and they did all of them under the cheese. So like you're getting mouthful of just slimy pepperonis that don't cook, and then she was also getting slimy peppers that don't get cooked. It was just like man, guys, is it just the worst cooks working that night? Like, are you all just trying out for Food Network's worst cooks in America? Like, goodness.
Dude, I mean, at that point,
yeah,
it's just chalked and you go to bed, right?
Yeah, we were just like, we ate 2 slices and then we were just like, okay, we watched more of our show. Then we just went to sleep. It was just like, boy, this is a bit of a letdown.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. There's no way I'm waiting as long as you did for food, like at Outback.
Yeah.
Like if we place an order, like you get maybe like 45 minutes tops.
See, I mean, they were very busy. So, and it's also kind of like, it was at this point too, where we were like, we don't want to, because it's like, it's one thing if they're just busy and they don't fuck up your order.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and it's just like, I can't just be like, go to the kitchen, like, hurry up with my food. I can't do that.
Well,
shit.
it's
And
just,
like I
it's
said,
just
our waiter
context
was really cool.
clues with the other folks. I would have been like, you know what?
No, it's one of those things where like, because where we were sitting, it was like one of those awkward seating things where it's like, we were at the big booth, like the big table booth type thing where like the tables are on the other side. So we could stare at these other couples that are booth to booth on the other side. And like this person got their stuff fucked up. This person got their then this guy was complaining about his steak. Yeah. I was just, as you're seeing this stuff after you place your order, I'm just like, maybe ours won't. And then like when it came out at first, I was like, it doesn't look that bad. And like hers looked like a mess. But mine looked okay. Then I'm looking at the sauce, like, oh, there's no sauce. And like afterwards, I'm like, I didn't get mac and cheese. My steak is like well done.
Dude, I figure like
a little kid could get lost in it type of well.
I bet the kitchen was like saving you from suffering what that mac and cheese would have looked like. Probably just a can of Alpo with some like shredded cheddar on top.
No, it's just the powdered cheese. They forgot to mix it in.
Right. Okay. Welcome back, folks. If you would like to hear about Casey's, I can only describe it as atrocious experience at Outback Steakhouse over the weekend, then go check out our YouTube channel.
And this is sponsored by Outback Steakhouse. Oi, mate.
Anyway, our YouTube channel. Yes, that is Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube. Exclusive story. But anyway, Casey, what comics did you read this week, my friend?
So I got to read The Thing, part 5, Good Asian, number 9, The Amazing Spider-Man, 92, Mighty Morphin, number 17, Punisher, number 1, Hawkeye, number 5, Batgirls, number 4, Thor, 23, The Joker, 13, and Devil's Reign, 5 of 6. What about you, dude?
I read Devil's Reign, Moon Knight, Trial of the Amazons, number 1, The Cimmerian, Hour of the Dragon, number 1, last week's Dark Knights of Steel, number 5, because I forgot about it, Superman, Son of Kal, number 9, Sonic the Hedgehog, Imposter Syndrome, number 3, Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology, number 2, Batgirls, number 4, Joker 13, Devil's Reign 5, and Thor 23.
Sounds like you got a little bit more than me, man.
I do. So I'll hop right in it. Devil's Reign Moon Knight, number 1. It's written by Jed McKay and art done by Federico Sabatini. It was cool. It's just a one-shot about what Moon Knight's up to in prison after he got arrested in Devil's Reign. So it's a lot of like basically the prison guards are hosting cage matches with the prisoners, and Moon Knight goes in there and, spoiler alert, beats the crap out of Man Mountain Marco, the old Spidey villain. And it was fun. It was totally fun. So I enjoyed it. Art was cool. The action was fun. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Right on, man. Okay, so I'm going to start off with last week's The Thing by Walter Mosley and Tom Riley. And, you thought that I would love this, Jake. I'm not going to lie. You were 100% right. I thought I had such a great time with it. And, the twists at the end, because it is bringing back, it, kind of calls back to a Doctor Strange story that I really, really like that Dennis Calero actually turned us on to. The one, the story with by Mike Mignola, the art for, where Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange team up to help get Doctor Doom's mom's soul back. They call back to that. I called it on Little Watu, and then I did not call it. I knew something was up with her, but I did not call it with her, his new lady friend being Death. I thought that was super cool. So I'm at a 9.5 for this. I had a blast.
Well, good. I'm glad.
I love this book. It makes me want to read this dude, because I know Walter Mosley is a novelist. I'm pretty sure he writes some type of book. Don't know if it's novels. It could just be all non-fiction biographies, but I doubt it. But it makes me want to read whatever he writes because I love it.
That's good. Maybe
it's actually all just
favorite writer.
Thing fan fiction. Yeah.
All right. Trial of the Amazons, number 1. I should have looked up the creative team while you were talking, but I didn't. All right. It's written by...
You think this was our first time recording?
I know, right? It's written by Stephanie Williams, Vita Ayala, Joelle Jones, Michael W. Conrad, and Becky Cloonan. And then art is done by Laura Braga, Skylar Patridge, Joelle Jones, and Elena Casagrande. So yeah, essentially the Amazons are going through their big ceremony on who is going to be champion and watch over Doom's doorway. And then the tribe that Artemis belongs to shows up. They're like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then the Esquisita tribe, or whoever Yara Flor belongs to, also shows up. And everyone's like, I don't know about this. And there's just lots of tension and blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the night and the end of the issue, spoiler alert, Hippolyta dies. And it seems to be
Hippolyta,
that she was potentially poisoned, but we don't know. But yeah, some of the dialogue parts were kind of meh, but overall, I mean, it was a pretty enjoyable book, and I'm still on for the rest of the event unless it just tanks. So I'm gonna give it a good 7 out of 10.
right on, man. Yeah, I kind of bypassed that. I was thinking about getting it, but I was like, I don't want to do another event.
Dude, that's
Like,
kind of where
had
I'm
I
at
not-
too. But like, I love Wonder Woman, and I can't
Yeah.
help but love Yara Flor. So I'm like, let's just see where it goes.
Yeah, like I have I'll say not a love, but a strong like for Wonder Woman, and I did love Yara Flor, but I was like, I mean,
And your
there
favorite
was
DC character, Artemis.
yeah, no, you got me there. And it's just like, boy, I've read how much of Devil's Reign and then how much of the event before that and how much of the event before that. It's like, just stop it. It's like the Michael Jordan ones, like, get help, stop it. So I couldn't. But next up for me was The Good Asian, number 9, and this is by Pornsack Pitchy Schult and Alexander Tefenke on the art. And I actually looked that up beforehand because unlike somebody, I'm a professional. This isn't my first rodeo. But but no, this is another good issue. It's like I say this every time though. I honestly should just stop reading it and wait for the trades, but I enjoy it too much. But I am just gonna I can't wait for when this is all done, just a nice thick hardcover so I can reread it again and pick up on the stuff that I know I'm missing. There's so much going on, and a monthly noir detective story where it's like you have to make sure you're picking up on the details is not the best when you're trying to solve the murder along, the mystery, not the murder, the mystery along with them. Because I'll be I read too many books, I'll forget characters halfway, who's that guy he just shot, that type of stuff. But I really enjoy it. And I mean, it's still the story itself is a very gripping one, and I do just like it. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. And the art's great. There's nothing really bad about the art.
Isn't there just 1 or 2 more left?
I have no idea. I'm betting my guess would be 3 because it's at 9 right now. So I bet they're gonna try for a 12 issue series. That seems like a good number, but I have no idea.
I feel like maybe when I rang them up this week, it finally said of whatever. I just don't remember what that was.
Oh, okay. It's of 1,000. Oh wow.
Wow. Okay.
He's gonna have to wait.
That is going to be
really wait for
a
that
sizable hardcover. All right. Anyway, next for me is the Cimmerian Hour of the Dragon, number 1, written by Julian Blondel and art by Valentin Sescher. And the art on this was amazing. I mean, this is Riccardo Federici for Action Comics and Last God, that level of awesome. And I'll try to see if you can.
Oh, nice.
So it's just
that is awesome.
Old painted 80s D&D book covers for the whole thing. So super awesome. These bad guys resurrect an old dead very powerful wizard king, and they're like, we need your help to defeat Conan because we can't. And the wizard king seems to think he'll be able to do so. And really, it's just a lot of build up with some pretty neato action in there. But like I read a good chunk of these Cimmerian comics, but this one's looking to be one of the better ones for sure. So I'm excited for the next one. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10.
Okay, because I mean, I know you like the story, but would it be still as high if the art wasn't as knockout worthy?
No, but it wouldn't be too much lower.
Okay.
It's like as good of a jumping on point for a Conan book as you can get, really.
Right on, man. Okay, so next for me is the Amazing Spider-Man 92 with Kelly Thompson on the plot and Jed McKay on the script, and Fred Gallon, Sarah Pacelli, and Zay Carlos doing the art. And I'm going to be honest, the Jed McKay doing the script with Kelly Thompson doing the plot worked really well, mostly because they weren't like the Daughters of the Dragon weren't near as out of character seeming as they had been. So it just made this story a little bit better in my opinion. And we got Morbius in this because that explains why old Doc Connors has got wings. They crossed his genes with Michael Morbius, and it was always kind of funny because they kept calling Michael Morbius. He's like, "Call me Michael Morbius or Doctor." Oh, it's like Dr. Morbius, and then they kept calling him Mike, and like, let's just agree to disagree and call you or work together on this and just call you Dr. Mike. And he's like, fine, Dr. Mike it is. I thought that was a pretty good part, but this is like I said, it's better than the last issue because I think just the dialogue was written a little bit better. Like Kelly Thompson, I'm just gonna say this, she can write a heck of a story because she did a really good job here and it's very enjoyable. It's just I think she tries too hard to be funny, and that kind of hurt the last issue. That's why this one's better. So I'm gonna give it a 8.5 out of 10. It's enjoyable. I still think this series would just be so much better if it was just one oversized issue a month, but whatever.
Right. Okay, next up for me is Dark Knights of Steel number 5. It's written by Tom Taylor and art by Yasmin Putri. And this one's pretty cool. We see some new versions of characters like Poison Ivy, which is fun, and as well as Dick Grayson. But Tom Taylor, up to his usual wily ways, kills a character, but they're not really dead. At least I don't think they are, because that would be very strange here. But then we also get this world's version of Ma and Pa Kent, and that's pretty neat. And I think they're gonna have sort of a big part to play in the story, or at least I hope so, based on what happens in this issue. But it's cool. The art is stunning as always, and I enjoyed it just like I always do. So this one's gonna be about an 8.5 out of 10. I wish I liked his other DC books more.
With the way they did Nightwing, is it like, do they factor in the circus at all? Because like that's how I'm picturing it. Like he's part of like a gypsy group or something like that, like a circus group troupe or something like that. That would be medieval type stuff, or is it not at all?
It's more like Batman has his Robins and they're just little spies. So like he's young in this, and they show him being acrobatic and stuff. But the Robins are just spies.
Okay, I gotcha. I figured it'd be when you said introduce, I was hoping it was gonna be like, oh, there's this kid, he looks happy, and they're like gonna kill his parents in the next issue. Okay, so next up is Mighty Morphin number 17, and this is by Matt Groom and Moses Hidalgo. And really quick side note, because I don't really have a lot of good stuff to say about this. For Valentine's Day, Brie got me the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game. I just beat it the other day. It's pretty awesome, but also like the most frustrating dang game I've ever played. Because like, if I'm not great at video games in general. I'm not great at like fighting games to the point where like I can do 50 hit combos, but like all of the computers can. at any time. So I was like, well, I'm gonna set the remote down, go get a drink, and when I come back, maybe they'll be done. I'll be like 150 hit combo, still going. I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe when I wake up, they'll be done. But
Right.
no, like this issue kind of is just like, oh yeah, the big event's over. So we're trying to set up something new, but it's not the Power Rangers I remember. It's like it's that group that was after them, like, like the guy, and I never liked them as a kid. And so this is the group that's in Mighty Morphin. I didn't know that. So like I was reading this, I'm just like, boy, do I not care about these people? And so then it did not hit for me at all. It was mostly just a big old whiffer. So I'm gonna give it a probably 2.5 out of 10. The art's okay, but I did not care about the story.
So like, do you think it's going to stay these characters you don't like for the next arc, or do you think they'll come back? Like the
Okay,
OG?
so if I think I checked this out online, and I could be wrong, but I think this is the secondary team in Mighty Morphin normally, except for the big event was everybody, but then Power Rangers is the original team.
Okay.
So I think it's just kind of like them going. Like I said, I could be wrong on that, but I think that's what I read online. So that's why I'm going to give Power Rangers still a try. But this was pretty bad. So, yeah.
I got you. Okay, next up for me is Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 9. It's written by Tom Taylor, and art is done by Bruno Redondo. So just like Nightwing, the art is cool. The story and some of the dialogue is pretty dumb. But then essentially this whole issue and like 2-part crossover was for Dick Grayson to convince Lois to help John's boyfriend's journalist place wherever he's working and uncover the truth. And I don't know. It seems like maybe that's a bit beneath Lois, even if that sounds terrible. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's just like, why would Lois help him when she'd probably be already doing it herself? Like, that's one of my main problems. I'm sorry to be hijacking your thing, but when I was reading Tom Taylor's run, it's just like what little I read, it's just like he's like, no, Lois doesn't care about doing the truth. She's just over here doing nothing.
Right.
And it's just like, come on. Like, you know Lois is better than that, man. Like, you're not that stupid. What are you doing? He's like, no, I have to make her look bad so my new character looks good. Well, don't you get it? So yeah, I wasn't hot on that.
Right. But now she's involved because Dick Grayson came by and was like, hey, you should totally help out.
and like I just picture Tom Taylor having her written, so she's just like biting her like pain, like, look at those yoga pants Dick Grayson's got on. Just walking around with that dump truck going everywhere.
Dude, speaking of Dick Grayson's dump truck, so
that's the title.
I know, right? It really is. There's an upcoming issue of Nightwing where the 1 in 25 was like Dick. It's like a side shot of Dick, but he's like bent all the way over with hands on the floor in in tight shorts. And they're like, this is the 1 in 25. It caused such an uproar that DC is now just making it the B cover so that anybody can get it who wants it.
Oh Lord. I mean, I guess that's part of it. It's like you've been teasing dudes and women with the Dick Grayson dump truck for so long, and then when you offer this type of variant cover, all the hornballs are coming out.
Yep. And because I collect Nightwing, I was like, okay, add. Because I can't have an incomplete collection.
Yeah. Just like
also, I'm gonna frame it and put it on the wall.
Yeah, you're gonna have a complete erection now.
Oh Oh gosh. But anyway, back to this book. The art carries it so hard. It's gonna get a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very much my problem. Like that book, like that Superman book is like my problem with Tom Taylor, except for the murdering, killing off characters for no reason. Other than that, like that's just my problems with Tom Taylor to a T with the way he writes. So I'm glad you don't have to read any more of it. unless you're like, no, this is adding to my poll now.
No, it is not.
Okay, so next for me, it's Punisher #1, and this is by Jason Aaron, Jesus Saez, and Paul Azceta. I'm hoping I pronounced those names right, but I probably didn't. But this is pretty cool. It starts off with Punisher, like these people like getting a weapon shipment in, and then Punisher just shows up and he kills all of them with the help of the Hand. The art in it is awesome. He's brutal in it because like my main problem with Punisher, he used to think he was the coolest dang character, but then you're always left going like, if he's so cool though, why the heck is Kingpin still alive? Like that's one of his rogues, and it's like you can only get away with him staying alive and Kingpin staying alive for so long before you just go, oh, okay, yeah, you're not good at your job, Punisher.
Right.
And so but with this, like, and it's like it shows how he joined the Hand, because like, so he comes home one day to his serial killer apartment, because it's like what you imagine with a very well done serial killer. Like his mattress is on the floor and just weapons everywhere, and then the Hand show up and they just try, and like they basically are testing him, because like if he survives, then this lady's prophecy is true, and they're good. If he dies, then she's like, oh, I'm just gonna have to kill myself too then, because makes sense. And so then he just like kills all of the Hand people, because his place is a weapon, just has all of the weapons. Like he opens up his fridge, he has knives in his fridge, he has guns on the wall, he has it booby trapped with explosives. It's so cool, and the art in it is outstanding. Like, I mean, look at this fight scene. You can see that, okay?
Yeah.
Like that's great.
Yeah.
And so then after he kills all of them, she holds up this thing, because spoiler alert, he doesn't get killed by the Hand. He holds up she holds up this thing, and she's just like, choose, she's like, does one of these belong to you? He's like, no, but this does. Who sent you? He puts the gun, and then she says, but we may have something that will change your mind. And then there's a person. I'm not gonna say who it is, but then Punisher, then it just kind of shows who it is at the very end. There's one other part that was really funny to me, because I have a bad sense of humor, but Punisher comes back to the Hand area, and he's like, the Hunter's back, and she's like, yes, but wouldn't you perhaps like to retire to your chambers first? Or he's like, I'll see them now. And it goes to this room full of like people like tied up, and then she's like, murderers who went free, rapists, abusers of children from all parts of the world, all found and brought before you by their most faithful disciples. And so then he just murders them all.
Okay.
And then then it ends with him with the person that he saw, and it is pretty awesome. I was expecting not to like it as much as I did, so like I have a feeling I might be let down in issues to come, but right now I'm into it. So I'm gonna give it a 9. Yeah, 9 out of 10. I'm feeling good with a 9 out of 10 on that.
Nice. It sold well this week, like most Punisher books do. I'm just curious how long they'll let this one go.
I mean, now he's got his shiny new logo that less people are gonna steal, so that they can make money off of. It's gonna stay for a while, I bet.
I hope so for the fans.
Yeah.
Okay. Sonic the Hedgehog Imposter Syndrome #3. It's written by Ian Flynn with art by Thomas Roethlisberger and Mauro Fonseca. So Kit and Surge break into Dr. Starline's like video logs and find out a little bit about their pasts, except for like their actual identities. And Starline catches them, but they fight him and knock him out. And when he wakes up, they use his own hypnotizing glove to make him forget, and now they're gonna like make him play by their rules, which I think is kind of interesting. They don't want they want to kill Sonic, they want to kill Eggman, and now Starline. They're just sick of heroes and villains, and they want to destroy everyone. So we'll see how their plan goes, but it was pretty entertaining. It's not as good as the regular Sonic book, but you know, it's a fun little spinoff. So I'll give it a good 6.5 out of 10.
Right on, man. Okay, did you read Hawkeye?
No.
Okay. Then I will talk about that really quick. So Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, number 5 by Mari Keep Notchkamp, and I just have ink. Oh, penciler Enid Balim on the art, and I mean, you get a nice team up. You know, Kate's buddies show up to help. It's fine. Like, there's nothing I hate about this book. There's one part that was pretty cool. Cassie, I'm blanking on what her new superhero name is, shows up, and like Kate basically shoots an arrow, goes behind her, and then Kate was there though, and she goes really behind, goes behind the person, shut the arrow out, and then Cassie grows big, grabs the person, bops him in the head, knocks it out. I was like, that's pretty cool. And then Pizza Dog saves the day. He eats the gym, spoiler alert, and he gets the gym, and he then gives himself all the treats he can ever want. And it's like, this is like the epitome of an okay book, in my opinion. Nothing about it really stands out to me. I'm glad it's over. Like, I'm not gonna keep, I was getting tired of it. So yeah, I'm gonna be 5 out of 10 on that.
Yeah, I had a feeling that this would be in the forefront of most okay books of this year. Because
like
I was just like, I don't really care to read it.
Yeah, there's nothing about it that like would make, that's bad, in my opinion. There's also nothing about it that makes me go like, yeah, you really should read this last issue, Jake. Except for maybe see the picture of, Pizza Dog happy. That's about it.
Which I do want to see at all times.
But that's that's all you got, all you have to worry about.
Right. Okay, so my last book before our mutuals got Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology, number 2. See, it's written by Neil Gaiman and P. Craig Russell, and then art is done by David Rubin and Colleen Duran. So this finishes up Ymir's fishing expedition, and then the second half of the book is the first part of the death of Balder. So lots of good stuff. I like the story of Balder's death quite a bit. It's one of the more famous Norse mythology stories, I think. So I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it drawn in this nice, pretty art. But I like it a lot. It's always good. 9 out of 10.
Right on, man. So what order do you want to do the last 4 in?
You can do Devil's Reign, Joker, Thor, Batgirls.
If that's what you want to do, buddy.
I know you like to alternate your Marvel and DC,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, so Devil's Reign 5 of 6 by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto. So what were your thoughts on this, man?
It was something. The cool like splash page fight scene was neat. But the ending, I don't know what I expected, because we all heard the big spoilers last week.
Yeah.
And then I read this and I was like, well, that's not what I thought was going to happen.
Oh, really? See, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. What did you expect then, honestly?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just wasn't this. But I mean, the the high note always is the art by Chichetto.
Yeah.
What about you?
See, I really enjoyed it. There's stuff about it that I didn't love. Like, I still don't think US Agent is this much of a douche. Like, I don't think he should be doing this. Getting A-bomb on their side is crazy. I love the way Kingpin was written. I still love that how he like because it's like it makes me think of like Mark Waid's run. There was this one part where I'm pretty sure like Matt meets with Kingpin and they're looking at art and Matt can't see the art obviously. So you're seeing what Matt sees until the very end and it's just like different pictures of like Daredevil being brutally killed because Kingpin is that obsessed, you know?
Yeah.
And so like seeing him be this obsessed with his mind be missed, like it makes sense. Like this adds up, like this stays true to that character in my opinion. And then like the art is outstanding and all of that. I think it's really, really cool. And like I said, I wish I wouldn't have read Electra because I think this death would have been cooler, but I knew exactly like this is exactly what was going to happen to old Mike Murdoch. I mean, I'm kind of surprised he stayed alive this long after Charles Soule's run, but yeah, I really, really liked it. I'm pretty high on it. I don't. It sounds like you aren't anywhere near as high as me.
No, I mean it's like a 7. I didn't dislike it. It was just like, oh, this part's cool, and that's how it ended.
Yeah. See, I was pretty hyped after I read it, so I might actually probably add a 9 for it. Like I said, I really enjoyed it.
Good. Okay. Now we've got the Joker, number 13, and yeah, it's written by James Tynan, and then art is done by Giuseppe Camuncoli. Sorry about that. Yeah, what did you think of this one?
I like the art. I thought it was kind of goofy how like okay, this guy who's been probably murdering and eat people for forever, Joker making fun of his cooking can get under his skin enough that Joker then will break free because the dude comes in after him to kill him. I thought that was pretty stupid. And then this part was hysterical. I don't know if you've ever seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but there's this one part where this like big biker dude's like talking crap to one of the killer clowns, and the killer clown's like, and then just boop and knocks his block off, just head flies right off. I'll try to find that and post it on our Twitter after this episode goes up because it's pretty darn goofy and it made me think of this. And then also like, oh yeah, Vengeance, aka Lady Bane, is gonna murder Joker. But wait, we're gonna find out another reason that Joker doesn't get to get killed, even though every reason for him should be killed is right there.
Yeah, that part. I mean that's why I'm so torn on this series, because like most of it's really, really good, but we know that none of this is going to happen. So it's like, how are they going to end this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little over the old cannibal family. It's just, I don't know. I just don't know why that's such a main focus. But I also think that scene you're talking about is funny because like that should just be so bloody and gory, and they just didn't add any of it.
I know. It was very cartoony. Like,
yeah,
almost picture, I can't do the noise, but the like that,
right.
you know, that should just be the noise that comes with it. Did you happen to read the Punchline story? Because I skipped it because I was reading all of these
What
this
do you
morning.
think?
Yeah, because you read the last one and you loved it.
Yeah, right. Also, is this just one more issue? Because it says to be concluded.
Must be. I'll be honest though. I thought she was gonna be a stupid character. I would read a Vengeance, aka Lady Bane, you know, aka Lane miniseries.
Yeah, I would too. I think she's one of the best parts of this for sure.
Yeah.
And I just like, I like Bane in full Bane force being back.
Yeah, same here.
So hopefully this thing wraps up nicely.
Yeah. Where are you at for this one?
Man, probably like a 6.5.
That's actually where I was feeling it too, if I'm being honest. Maybe a little bit lower just because the punchline story still has like, it's just like, I don't know. It's like if I was playing tag with like a 2-year-old and I was like, I am not getting tagged because it has not got me once.
Yep, I feel you.
Okay, so next up is Thor 23 by Donny Cates and Nick Klein. And I'm 100% going to have you take over because I honestly really liked it, but you're Thor boy on this pod. So you get the take point on this.
As gorgeous as it was, I thought the beginning with like the hammer throw lesson was pretty stupid. I don't know. I just don't like how Donnie writes Thor and Odin's relationship. It's just like way too shut up, dad, like all the time.
See, this one I didn't get that in this issue personally.
Well,
because this felt more like father son-ish than
I'm just
all
saying,
of the other stuff.
At this point in Thor's life, he's not he's written like a toddler. Like, will that happen to me when I die? Can you die? Like, he's been alive for so long at this point, dude. Like,
no, I get you.
It just shouldn't be coming up. But anyway, the fight, however, was amazing. I love like the color work and like the Jack Kirby like cosmic power dots, you know what I'm talking about? And see, Casey, I don't know how Donnie does it. Cause I'm starting low, then I get high. Then the hammer breaks and I'm low again, right? But then what happens at the end? They forge this awesome new hammer with, spoiler alert, the Odin force, and Odin just lives inside Mjolnir now. He's the power behind Mjolnir. And I'm like, okay, I could live with that.
Can we just talk about this page too?
Yes,
because like it's 100%. Like I talk about this a lot with different artists. There's times where it just seems like they're flexing. Like Liam Sharp did it all the time. This issue seems like Nick Sharp is just flexing, and he's like, I heard Nick I wasn't Sharp.
Not Nick Klein.
That's what I meant. But he was like, I heard Two Worlds podcast didn't include me in best artists. I'm gonna flex on these hoes and show them how great I am, because he really did. Because I knew he was good, but this is like S tier stuff.
Yeah, it really is. Even just like when Thor after the fact is laying in bed, like it's so good. It really takes me back to Olivier Coipel's JMS run.
Yeah.
But no, I liked it. By the end, I was all about this. It's weird though, because in the other Marvel issues, and maybe even this one, they're teasing Thor 750, this big funeral, and everyone's super sad. So I'm like, can only Thor talk to Odin through this hammer now? Or
probably,
it's just, I don't know.
I liked how in all the ads like Odin was right here.
Yeah,
in all of the ads, and then and like now it's showing the actual cover. He's not there. I'm like, that's awesome. That's some cool stuff.
Totally agree. I'm really glad that you brought that up.
And let's talk about the next issue, even though like this has nothing to do with our rating for this. But Donny Cates, Nick Klein, JMS, Olivier Coipel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dan Jurgens, Walter Simonson, Al Ewing, and Lee Garbett, Jason Aaron, and Das Pastores. Like, how excited are you for this?
Dude, depending on how it goes, it could be my issue of the year.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was reading this like, geez Louise, it's just like, I mean, just watch. Al Ewing's gonna be like, yeah, Thor's dead. This is zombie Thor now.
Hopefully it's the other writer smacking him across the face.
His feet are Mjolnir. Like, what?
Oh, that's so funny.
So what would
Oh
you rate
man.
this though, man?
A 9. Because of the 2 low points, it's not a 10, even though it ended on a big high for me.
I'm gonna go 9.5 just because like that first bit could have not lasted as long as it should have, and we could have got more of the awesome fight because I felt like the fight was a little rushed because like this
Yeah.
whole time it's been like, oh, I can't beat him, like, huh, I can, and then he beats them.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, some other comics will do a fight for pages, and it's like, I want that here with Nick Klein's art and Odin Force Thor fighting Mjolnir Mangog. Like, give me
yeah.
more. But still fantastic. All right. And then our last one is Batgirls number 4. And it's written by Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad, and the art is done by Jorge Corona. So yeah, what did you think of this one? Oh, and we should shout out the color artist too, which is Sarah Stern.
I liked it okay. I'm not like, you like this art more than me. I'm not super hot on it. Like, I like it okay, but I don't know. It's just so here for me. And like this issue also is like okay, but it was all kind of leading up to the reveal at the end, which it's like, if you were reading this and you've read comics for like at least more than like 5 issues of any comic book, you'd already know that this new character they introduced, odds are he's not a good guy. And then like, but who he was revealed to be, that had me pretty pumped, just as like a DC animated boy. That had me pretty excited. But other than
Looks
that,
great. I think
yeah,
that page is stellar.
it's awesome, and like that's the best part of the book. And like sometimes that's not a good thing. Sometimes like, oh yeah, my favorite part's the last page, but that's how it was with this one. I didn't love it, but that was pretty darn sweet, and it would be impossible not to want to come back to this book after reading that, in my opinion. What did you think?
I liked it a lot. My favorite page was this one,
Yeah,
because I think I mean, I can see why you wouldn't be hot on the art, but I think pages like that, it really shines. I mean, it's just like, it's sort of a slow burn. We're getting there. Like, I want to see more with like the magistrate people, and I want to get to the bad guy. And now we've gotten to the bad guy, or one of the bad guys. Technically, there's like 3 groups going on right now,
yeah,
but we've seen them like in their new space, and they're bonding and their relationship is growing, which is all fine and dandy. It's just like at issue 4, we should be a little bit past that. So hopefully now that they've done this big reveal, we can really get in it. You know what I mean?
yeah. One thing that annoyed me too, though, it's like, so are we trying to believe that Barbara, smart Barbara, was like, hey, I'm friends with the Batgirls. I have no connection to them other than just being friends with them. They're gonna drop off this villain that, because I've been in contact with them this whole time. But again, I am not a superhero. I'm gonna drop, they're gonna drop off this villain for you to help take care of with your art therapy degree. It's like, are we really believing that's something Barbara would do? Like, my only thought would be if she got hacked again by that one lady. That's the only way that would make that seems in character for her, is if the bad guy's teaming up with this bad guy.
Yeah, I agree. Like, at no point do I think Barbara says that and doesn't say take him to jail right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, right. So that was pretty stupid to me. But I will say one thing that's really good that Becky Cloonan and Conrad do is they do the relationship stuff. Like, even though I do think a lot of the stuff with the actual like plot development stuff kind of are a slow burn. It's not my favorite. The way they have the characters' relationships going, it's pretty good stuff. I will say Stephanie Cassandra, they need to work on their brains as far as their costumes. Their mouths are covered. Make it so that you can filter out toxic gas if you have your mouth covered, ladies. Come on.
I know, that was one of my thoughts too. I was like, if this were Batman, they would be sure to say, by the way, this doesn't affect me.
Yeah, Bruce would be like, I've actually had a lot of fear toxin in my systems, so it doesn't affect me anymore.
Exactly.
It's like, why are you always out of breath when you're talking? Talking like this is hard. So where are you at for this one, man?
I think I'll be higher than you. I'm at an 8.
Yeah, I'm at probably 6.5. Like I said, I liked it okay, but it's still just it's not knocking my socks off. And my dog is sawing logs.
All right. Well, what are you excited for next week?
I'm gonna say Batman, Superman, World's Finest #1 should be a great time. Flash 780, and let's go with Crimson Cage #4.
Okay. World's Finest was also up there for me. I'm very excited for that. But I will say probably Blue and Gold. Wonder Woman for sure. And what's a good third? Batman the Knight. I've been digging that one.
Right on, man. Okay, so it's Fantastic Four time, and I'm gonna kind of get my shirt show on really quick. It was this little guy's 50th birthday, Gigan, this
Happy
this
birthday,
weekend.
Gigan.
And if any kaiju looked like he could fit with the 90s superheroes, it's Gigan. He had for those that don't know, he had hooks for hands, like a weird visor for eyes, shot laser beams out of his forehead, crystal, had horns everywhere. He had a buzzsaw belly. Looks like, I mean, if you saw me, like, oh, that's a Rob Liefeld design creature, but it's not. And so my question to you, Jake, is give me your 4 favorite 90s character designs.
Okay. Azrael. Probably Long Shot. Trying to think of like DC ones, but they're really like aren't a ton. So I'm sorry if this takes one from you, because I know we've talked about this character before, but Adam X.
Oh yeah.
And then my favorite has gotta be
Sif, 90s Sif.
God no, but they are Asgardian. It's Dargo, the future Thor from the Thor core. You know what I'm talking
Nice.
about?
Yeah, I do know who you're
the
talking
shoulder
about.
spikes and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm gonna have Thunderstrike on here twice because there's 2 different Thunderstrike designs and they're both awesome. So there's the original Thunderstrike, looks cool, and then later on in the series he gets Blood Axe's axe, and so it's like Thunderstrike but even more like metal, and it's awesome. and so those 2, and then I'm also gonna say Jack Knight. He was like late 90s, and he's very much more grunge inspired. You know, like he's like hipster grunge coolness. You know, I enjoyed that a good bit. And then I'm trying to think of another just 90s character that I'm like, oh, Blood Axe. Oh, we're gonna go back to the Thunderstrike stuff because Blood Axe was awesome, and we'll give Cable some love.
Yeah,
Who doesn't?
I thought for sure you would bring up that one guy from Ghost Rider. You know what I'm talking about?
Vengeance. Yeah, Vengeance is awesome too. It's like, boy, Ghost Rider's not metal enough.
That's funny.
And if you didn't talk about Dick Grayson's dump truck, that would have been the title. But
yeah, I know, right? All right, guys. Well, that is the end of the episode. So if you would, please go to facebook.com/2worldspodcast and give the page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And also, please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is 2 Worlds Podcast on YouTube.
And tell us if you're gonna try to get that dump truck cover. If you're gonna try to like just take, be like, Jake, I need your copy of this because we all want it.
And also, let us know your favorite 90s comic book character design.
Yeah, that too. Or your favorite 90s comic book character's dump truck.
All right. Well, we'd love to stay and chat, but we have to go eat some honey in the 100-acre woods. So we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bother. Bye.